Hello, everyone. Welcome to Stemming, and this is episode 4 of Oxbridging the Gap. Today, we're going to talk about getting accepted into Oxbridge and how to prepare the summer before you go. So, if everyone could tell me, like, what was happening on that day and what your emotions were when you got accepted.
Given that Oxford finds out the day before Cambridge. So, so we found out. I found out through email first, but the college did also send a letter home. So I checked UCAS in the morning. There was nothing there, and then I went to school. Had the first two periods. I checked between the first two periods as well, and nothing. And by break time, I'd heard whispers that other people had already heard. So I was like, maybe it's time to check. And I checked my email, and there was a notification saying that you need to check your UCAS. There's an update. But I wasn't sure whether I wanted to open it in school or go home in case it gone the wrong way, and I didn't want to cry at school. So I didn't know whether to open, but I think one of my friends kind of forced me to open it. So I just opened it in the toilet cubicle. And basically after I saw that I got accepted, then I came out, and then a few of my friends were there already. So yeah, we hugged. And then and then I called my mum from the school toilets, and she said, we already know because we got the letter, but we didn't open it, but we kind of put it up to the light and said congratulations, so we assumed we got in. So,
oh
yeah, so the day after that Oxford found out was the day that Cambridge applicants found out. And by that point, everyone had knew everyone who got into Oxford, and everyone was kind of anticipating who would get into Cambridge. So luckily my results came out very early in the morning. So I woke up, went to school, and we were sitting in tutorial. And I just our school is a bit weird because we're not allowed phones, but I kept refreshing my email just to see if I got one. And my one was directly from the college, and it wasn't check your UCAS or anything. So I saw that I had an email from from Fitzwilliam. So then I went to the toilet. I think everyone just has a trend of opening their results in the cubicles, but so then I checked my results, and it said congratulations, you've been accepted. And I just remember shaking because after how badly I felt like my entrance exam went, I didn't think I was going to get in. So I was just shaking. I called my dad and then rushed back into tutorial and told my friends. And yeah, it was all good.
I actually had my Imperial interview on the day that the Cambridge result came out. So I was on a train to London when I got the email, and all my teachers were like, oh, don't check your emails, because whatever the result is, you don't want anything to throw off your Imperial interview. But I mean, the notification popped up and it said, I'm pleased to inform you. So I opened it and it was all good. And I phoned my dad. And then I think we went out to dinner that night. And then I had a mock exam the next day or something like that. So it was just hectic, but it was good. And the Imperial interview also went completely fine. So yeah, all in all, a good day.
I was going to say, for me, it went quite the opposite. So because I applied to Cambridge, it was the day after Oxford. So I had to wait. And then for some reason, my college decided to wait until about the end of the day to let me know whether I had got in or not. So I was getting asked all day whether I got in or not. And I didn't know. So that was just building up anxiety for the whole day. And then to find out I didn't get in was not the best day ever. But, it happens. So that was just a different experience to everyone else.
Natasha, I wanted to ask, now that a lot of time has passed since the whole application process to Oxbridge, how do you feel looking back? And can you tell us a bit about sort of the uni you go to now and what your experience has been?
Yeah, so after, for me, it was quite devastating to get rejected because that was what I had set my mind to for a long time. But in hindsight, I think the uni that I'm at is better suited for me and my style of learning anyway. So at the end of the day, it's not that deep whether you get in or not. if you do get rejected, like don't take it so personally, because there's a lot of factors that come into play in getting accepted in the first place. Like it's not just about you, it's about the tutor as well, and whether you're suited to the college or not, or whether you're suited to the uni itself. So I wouldn't take it so personally. And if your mind is really set on going to Oxbridge, you can always reapply. But for me, I think it was just okay. I think I was just so eager to get to uni that it didn't matter for me to reapply. So yeah. So I'm happy at the place that I'm at.
Everyone who I've like ever spoken to has literally said the exact same thing, because I feel like Oxbridge has so much like random hype, and sometimes I wonder like for what reason. Because like I don't know, I just think there are so many unis that have like probably better teaching, and it's just like I think everyone who I know who applied and like didn't get in, or like got in but didn't take it, like they've ended up like so happy at wherever they are. So it's just like I think don't put like this enormous pressure on the application process, because like I strongly believe that you will end up wherever you need to go. You know?
Yeah, definitely.
I just had a question to kind of everyone, I guess. But obviously in A level, we've been really focused on trying to get into Oxbridge. How did you guys, or did you guys, redirect your goals once you'd gotten into the university that you're going to now?
I think this one, like, this is the thing that kind of screwed me over a little bit, because after I got that goal, I was like, oh, like class, you know, and then I didn't think about the next steps of like, oh, I actually have to mentally prepare for like going to this place and doing all the work. But I was also very well aware that I probably just like that I would be nowhere near the top of my cohort or anything like that. So I immediately was just like, you know what, if I've got like a 2-1 at the end of the 4 years, I'll be like very happy. So my goals just became more like I hope I can just do this reasonably well, and that I can sort of experience everything else that uni has to offer. Which is why like the pandemic, like it's like I feel like first year I didn't get to do like any societies or anything like that. Like I think I went to like beginners judo twice before we had a lockdown in November. So you know, it's like that kind of stuff that like the uni has so much more to offer. So that became kind of my goal, and it's still something that I want to like get the most out of.
Yeah, same. I was just kind of thinking like of how maybe it's too early. It was too early to think about it in first year, but like just thinking about like, oh, I need to get like this certain grade to be able to apply for this internship or whatever, because a lot of internships do kind of require a specific grade. But yeah, that was kind of what I was looking forward to. But again, I wouldn't recommend first year. Usually doesn't count. It doesn't count. Didn't count for us. You just have to pass first year to get on to second year. So I would just recommend having a little bit more fun than I did in first year, rather than kind of obsessing over like trying to get internships and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think I definitely put a backseat on my degree a little bit, but I did have fun at the end of the day. Like I think I just, if I had to say like about my first year, I think I definitely took opportunities to have fun, maybe more than I should have, but because first year didn't count, like it was just about passing. It wasn't that deep. Like I think this year though, definitely my mindset is to buckle down more and put more time and effort into my degree, because at the end of the day, that's what I'm paying 9K a year for. So
yeah, completely same. Like I wish I'd done significant amounts of more work this year, but I mean the year's over, it didn't go too badly, and I made a lot of friends. So I'm just going to take that and move forward and think second year, like I really want to get a routine and a structure from the get-go and put a lot more work into it.
So, moving on, how did you guys prepare for like the summer before you went to Oxford or Cambridge? And obviously, because we have COVID, I think things were different to other years. So, what did you do?
I think because of isolation, by the time that we got around to, obviously we had isolation from March onwards. So by the time we got to around August, I was kind of fed up of just sitting idle and not doing work anyway. So I was like, oh, I'll try a bit of Isaac physics. And very good decision, because it was really helpful afterwards. So I just tried a bunch of Isaac physics questions, the level 5, level 6 ones, just to, they were just at a higher difficulty than anything that we've done in the past. So just tried a few of those. And then Cambridge did this STEM Start course for anyone doing, I think it was natural sciences or engineering. And that was a 4-week-long course that was pretty structured. And every week we had a given set of questions that we had to complete. So that took quite a lot of time also in September. And I think that was pretty much all the prep that was needed.
Yeah, I don't know if we had the same one, because I remember hearing that the Natskis had like a significantly harder STEM Start course.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the STEM Start course was much harder than any A-level question we'd done. So group chats were just kind of flooded with questions like, oh, where have we ever even seen this? And
oh my God.
Don't get thrown off by it. The actual course starts off a little bit easier.
No, the engineering one was, as far as I remember, completely fine. Like, just like A-level basic, like it was, I think I remember seeing like one of the Natski questions and I was like, wow, like lucky that we don't have this, because it looked so much harder than the one we got. And I don't think ours was as time intensive either. And it wasn't like, I don't remember being that structured. I don't think I did it I don't think I started it for the first couple of weeks. Yeah, I think it was just kind of a free for all, like do it within the month. I don't think it was that structured either. And prior to that, well, when lockdown happened in March, like we hadn't finished learning the A-levels, but my school basically never contacted me again. So like I just tried to learn what I could from the A-levels by myself, which was fine, but then I did kind of get a bit bored. So there are genuinely parts of A-level, like further maths, that I still that I never learned like during A-level times. Like I just learned it at uni. But that was kind of fine. I mean, to be honest, I wish I'd done more prep in terms of like mental prep, like getting myself psyched up to like actually do a bunch of work at uni. I was more so like after ISO, I was just looking forward to finally being allowed to kind of like socialize and meet people again. So yeah, I wish I had done more to sort of like more like academic prep, but like hey ho, it wasn't that bad.
I didn't do anything until I was sent work from college to do. Basically, we got given quite a thick booklet that had a math section, a dynamics section, a static section, and I think an electricity section. Can't remember though, but I think those were the 4 sections. And we were supposed to kind of go through those booklets in the first 4 tutorials. And then we also had some online platform to do some like bridging work that wasn't completely compulsory, I think. But I didn't know that, and I ended up doing that before I did the compulsory work, which was a bit of a lot of time lost for no reason. But yeah, I didn't do anything before I was told to, and I do kind of regret that. I do wish I did a bit more revision of like just A-level content before I started uni.
Yeah, definitely. I was way more psyched up for like freshers and a bunch of events. I didn't even clock that I would like actually have to start doing lectures again. I don't know why it sounds so dumb, but I think after so many months of ISO, I didn't even like realize, but hey ho, you know, you live and you learn.
Yeah, the mental prep, I don't think many people talk about it. And I think that's one of the main things that we need to actually change about ourselves before going into Oxbridge. Because right now, everyone's heard of oh, you're the big fish in a small pond, and then you go to being like a average fish. But sometimes it really hits you when you think that you're not even average, or that like you're a little bit below average. But it's fine. It was I guess it's just a process everyone has to get used to. But just starting off early, kind of reminding yourself that you're not just your academic worth, is always a good thing before going into a Oxbridge setting.
Also, because of like the whole pandemic thing really put a spanner in the works, because it wasn't just like, oh, freshers, like there was genuinely no structure when we went into Michaelmas, because like all of my lectures were pre-recorded and online, and I had like maybe 2-3 hours of supervisions a week. So I was having like 3 hours of contact time a week, and the whole rest of it was just like I had to figure out what I was doing. So it was very easy to think like, it's Freshers Week, should I prioritize work or like making friends? And I always chose the latter for a while. So it was difficult. I guess completely my own mistake. I don't know why I didn't think about this more strongly beforehand, but yeah, I wish I prepared for that more.
Yeah, definitely. And kind of just after not doing anything for so many months, just kind of being thrown into, so many lectures, so many like tutorial sheets and tutorials, it was a bit of a shock to the system.
Yeah,
and it is, I'm not going to lie, it's significantly a lot more work than A levels, and it is significantly harder content than A levels. So yeah, do like prepare for that the best you can. But again, the summer's also to relax. So just kind of balance between the two.
I think it would be a good idea getting used to doing questions that take much, much longer. So for example, the Isaac physics questions, they took me quite a while to do. And the organization that you need in university is very different to the one from A level, because in A level, you can say, I'm going to spend an hour on trying to finish, I don't know, my maths homework and trying to finish these 6 questions. But with uni questions, it's so unpredictable that you have to work in huge chunks, like, oh, I'm going to give myself 5 hours to try and do these 4 questions. So getting used to that is a very good idea before uni starts.
With A levels, I think we were kind of conditioned to like this thinking that, if you try enough times, you will get it. And it did work for A level. And if you tried a question enough times, you would get it. I think at uni, sometimes you just have to accept that you just can't answer the question, and you just have to like go into the tutorial and ask the tutor to explain it. I think just getting used to that was quite hard. Just getting used to the thought that sometimes I just can't answer the question. That was quite like a shock as well to the system in general.
On mental prep, is there any other techniques or things that you might have said to yourself that kind of helped you to get through all of these new experiences and new feelings?
I think organization is such a big one. Like by A levels, I was very used to the whole thing of like, oh yeah, I'll have a planner, like the school will give me a timetable, I'll just stick that in my planner, and then I'll just write down like what homework I have, and then it will just get done. Like, it's calm. But at uni, like, I wish at the start I had just stopped to take a proper look at my timetable and thought like, oh, these are the lectures, no one's going to make me watch them. Like, I have to make myself watch them, and then I have to allocate time to like get all the super work done before the super, and and I have to make sure that I'm aware of what labs are happening. There were definitely labs that I went to where like someone rang me up the night before, like, oh, Ishika, by the way, you've got a lab at 9, like you should probably like get some sleep or whatever, like it was a lot of just being entirely unorganized. So yeah, I wish I had just made myself sit down for an hour and just figure out what the term was going to look like. And then something I found very useful was we have like each room has like a pin board. So I had like bits of paper, like I had like a notepad where I could like peel off bits of paper. And so I would write down everything that I had to do in chronological order. And that was good because it's like I wake up and like I can see that I have a deadline in like 2 days. And like every week I had several deadlines. So that was a good way of keeping on track.
Thank you so much for joining us on episode 4 of Stemming. We'll see you for the next one. Bye.